Welcome to The Explainer. You know, if you still think the HR manager's job is mostly about paperwork and planning the company picnic, well, you are in for a serious surprise. Today, we are diving deep into the massive shift in HR, and we're going to explore this incredible blend of tech wizardry and genuine human insight that's now required to actually succeed.
So let's just ask the big question right up front. In this world of AI everywhere and teams spread all over the globe, what does it really take to make it as an HR leader? And the answer, well, it isn't some simple checklist. It's all about building a dynamic portfolio of skills to navigate, everything from AI-driven hiring to keeping a hybrid workforce connected.
Okay, first things first, we need to get on the same page. We throw the word competency around all the time, but what does it actually mean when we're talking about our jobs?
Right. So, it's not just about what you know, and it's not just the skills you list on your resume. A real competency is how you bring all of that together, your knowledge, your skills, and yeah, even your attitude, to actually perform on the job and get real results.
And our sources pretty much break this down into three core buckets. You've got technical, like, can you actually use the software and tools? Then there's functional. Do you know the processes of HR inside and out, like how to plan a project? And finally, you have behavioral, which is all about how you show up. Do you take initiative? These three are basically the fundamental building blocks for everything else we're going to talk about.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. It's all about how these building blocks get put together for what our sources are calling the new generation HR manager. And trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking. And this right here is such a critical point. Being a new generation manager has nothing to do with how old you are. It's about your mindset. It's about having a way of thinking that's actually in tune with all the chaos and challenges of today's business world.
So this new mindset really stands on two main pillars. On one side, you have your technical competencies, the hard skills, the how you get things done. And on the other, you've got your managerial competencies, the soft skills, the who and why behind it all. And here's the kicker. In today's world, you absolutely cannot succeed with just one of these. It's got to be both.
And let's be really clear about something. The world that shaped all the old HR rules, it's gone. The sources even call the BC, or before Corona era, ancient history. The old playbook with those old skill sets, it's just not going to cut it anymore.
Okay, so let's dig into that first pillar, the technical toolkit. Because that old idea of HR being some kind of non-technical department, yeah, that's totally obsolete. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, from using AI to sift through resumes, to managing cloud-based data systems for your entire workforce, technology is now the engine that runs pretty much every core HR function.
So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Look, it's not about being a software developer, but you do need to be hands-on. Can you actually navigate your company's HRMS? Can you look at a data report and pull out the key insights? Do you get how AI can find that one perfect candidate out of 1,000 resumes? That's the new baseline.
But here's the thing. You can have the most brilliant AI and the slickest software in the world, but if you can't connect with people, it's all for nothing. And that brings us to the second and just as critical pillar, the managerial blueprint. This is really where the tech meets the touch.
This is where those other two building blocks we talked about, the functional and the behavioral, they really come together and create something powerful. It's the art of mixing your process knowledge with the people skills you need to motivate, guide, and lead the whole organization forward. And the sources keep pointing back to four skills that are the absolute bedrock here. First, communication. And that means being able to talk strategy with the CEO one minute and then warmly welcoming a brand new hire the next. Second is leadership, to actually set that vision. Third, adaptability, because let's face it, thriving in chaos is the new normal. And finally, relationship building, which is all about turning HR from a department people avoid into a truly trusted partner. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that these managerial skills aren't just passive traits. Now, they are the active tools an HR leader uses to become what the sources call a change champion. Someone who doesn't just react to change, but is actually in the driver's seat, making it happen. Okay, so we've got the tech pillar on one side and the managerial pillar on the other. How in the world do you bring them together to create a truly effective, modern HR leader?
The key, the absolute non-negotiable, is that they have to go hand in hand. This is not an either-or choice. You just can't be a tech genius who can't talk to people, and you can't be a great people person who has no idea how the company's systems actually work. And this chart illustrates that idea of a competency portfolio perfectly.
Think about it like a financial investment portfolio, right? You wouldn't put all your money in one single stock. You need to diversify. You need a really strong foundation of technical skills, sure, but it has to be balanced with major investments in leadership, strategy, and communication. That's how you get long-term stability and growth.
And ultimately, this whole thing isn't just about your own personal skill set. The real mission for a modern HR leader is to become a capability builder. Your job is to create a culture that actually develops these same competencies, both technical and managerial, in everyone across the entire organization.
So, that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. The business world is not slowing down, it's constantly evolving. The crucial takeaway here is that balancing your tech and your touch isn't just a nice to have. It is the only way to stay relevant and make a real impact. So the real question you have to ask yourself is your portfolio ready for whatever's coming next?